Feature coming up next, and that's got a special meaning of its own. The flying trowel. Stand a man with a master mason, a master of his craft, and keeping that in mind with a theme. The flying trowel, a name for the race that had come up. Lyle DeVore coming up with the name of that event. And it's a special one. It's going to pay $1,320. Extra distance, extra payday, 32 laps. Here's the way they'll start. Andrew Cormy, that's Drew Cormy, the 667. Outside of him, the 3 of Nick Lucier, that's row 1. John Miller in the number 12 and Alex Palmer-Sawyer in the 61 will start side by side in row 2. Then it's going to be Chad Gregory in the 23G and the 18, the Jeff Washburn in row 3, row 4. To be the 112 of Dave Baronowski and your point leader, defending champion Tim Hartman Jr. in the double deuce, the 22. He starts 8th. 5 rows deep, it'll be Elliot Lucier in the 4, and Michael 𝗔𝗔𝗥𝗰𝗴 in the 88. That's row 5. Then back in row number 6 as they're going to go to green this time by. Green flag is back out. We are underway. This one of the stops on the CDRA, Capital District Racing Association. As I said earlier, Rob Hayes, known better as Hazer, not with us here tonight. Back at home watching this event. Hazer, you're in our thoughts. As we are underway, green, we're going to have a quick yellow out here. Yellow lights are on. Car slow here on the front straightaway. That is the 27 of Michael Ballestero. Right rear tire down on the Stones Pharmacy. M&J Construction, sponsored automobile. So 1 of 32 now on the board for the Sportsman. Drew Cormy, your leader. The Versatile Glass, Calmy Logging, number 667 entry. So we're talking about the CDRA, and this being the second of the 3 stops here at the Great Race Place. The final Sportsman feature of the year coming up on Massive Weekend will also be a CDRA race. The first event on the schedule this year for the Sportsman was also a CDRA event. CDRA is presented by JAM Performance and Consulting, and Elmo's Speed Supply. So JAM Performance and Consulting and Elmo's Speed Supply. The backers, Chris Jakubiak won that first event. He is the point leader. Donovan Lucier was the second place finisher that night, the Canadian competitor, not in competition here tonight, as he started the season with us before Granby opened up on Friday nights, but I'm sure north of the border at the Autodrome Granby tonight. Third place in points coming into tonight, that is Joey Scarborough, Tim Hartman Jr., and Dylan Madsen. Rounding out your top 5 in CDRA points. Green flag back out. As we're back underway, as they make their way down here through the corner and down the back straightaway now, it's going to be Drew Cormy up on the front, showing the way down here through turn 3 and 4. Side-by-side action down here through the corner. They're 3 wide, couple rows back. Tim Hartman Jr., part of that 3-way battle, along with Chad Gregory and the 112 of Dave Baronowski Jr. Yeah, we got yellow again. Yellow is out. Derek McGrew Jr., the Next Generation Roofing sponsored 26 car. Up over the bank. Down here between turn 3 and 4. So McGrew coming by the Next Generation Roofing sponsored automobile. It is a number 26. I know from the grandstands you're going to look at it and tell me, where do you see a 6? There is a 6 inlaid into that number 2 on the McGrew Racer. That is the family number that goes back generations. All the way back to Derek's great-grandfather. Andy Hotailing and keeping the 26 number, but wanting to have a look of his own with the number 2. Got one car coming to a stop up here in turn 1. That's Tim Hartman Jr. Looks like he's pointing out maybe a piece of debris. See a lot of hand action down there in the cockpit. The kick flies, Bemis Trucking, number 22 car of defending champion Tim Hartman Jr. Current high point man, all-time winningest driver. You can go on and on as far as that goes. Hartman's pretty much done it all here in sportsman competition. Waiting for the field to come by here. And, well, we got trouble over in turn 3. John Miller, while up in the front of the field, and I know I'll get a groan out of the crowd, but you know he's hearing that tune. You picked a fine time to leave me loose wheel. Tough go for John Miller as Miller was slated to restart from the outside front row. He's going to come off on the business end of the record. There is the Lazaro's Auto Body number 12 car. Good job by the rest of the field missing the wheel. Good job by Joe down there in the infield to follow it all the way without getting hit. So timing and scoring, getting the proper restarting order together right now. Just making the arrangements, the rearrangements of where they had been. Nick Lucy are now going to pull up to the outside of 𝗔𝗿𝗄𝗯𝗵𝗏. taking a look at the CDRA after the Flying Trail 32 here at Albany Saratoga. The CDRA will head to the Glen Ridge Motorsports Park for their next point-paying race on August 3rd. The Rumble at the Ridge will be the next event on the CDRA. Again, they'll finish up here at the Great Race Place. Gonna get ready to bring him back to green. Up on the front, it's 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗏. Nick Lucier alongside of him as they make their way down here off of turn number 4. Green flag flies. We are back underway. Alex Palmer-Sawyer with a 61 right there in the mix as they make their way down the back straightaway. Dave Baronowski Jr. working down to the inside of Tim Hartman Jr. as they work down here off of turn number 4. Looking back through the pack. Working their way up here through the field. Here's the 711C of Chris Crane Jr. Here's the 01 of Zach Buff, also making his way up through the field. They work their way down here to turn number 1. Hartman trying to find a lane down to the inside. Got to pull back up in the tracks of the 61 machine as they work their way down here through the corner, up here off of turn number 4. Nick Lucier got a little wide. That's going to allow Hartman to get position on him. Lucier will officially backslide into 4th spot. And now he will find Dave Baronowski Jr. down to the inside of him. There's Chris Jakubiak, the 49. He is the CDRA Series leader. So, you know, he's got a little bit something special to race for here in this event. They're all chasing the $1,320 payday as they work their way down here through turns 3 and 4 again. Taylor Wasson with the 07 up on the high side of the raceway, using a high line up here through turns 1 and 2. 8 laps now on the board. Hartman skating his way up across turn 3 and 4. Coming down to the outside of Alex Palmer-Sawyer now as they work their way down here to turn number 1. Sawyer down low. Hartman up high. They race side by side off of turn number 2. Hartman with a slight advantage when they hit turn 3. But Sawyer taking it in as deep as he could go down low. And at the line still able to hang on to 2nd spot. Sawyer and Hartman really hooked up in a good battle there for the runner-up position. That has allowed your leader to put a little more distance between himself and that 2nd place race. 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗏 showing the way down here to turn number 1. Now Hartman going wide that time up here, trying to get a little more momentum off the corner. Hartman using that high line, taking it out a little bit higher as they work their way up here. Got one headed towards the pits down here to turn number 1. They're going to clear the raceway as your leaders work up here down the back straightaway. All eyes are on that 2nd place race as they work their way down here to turn number 3. Great job by Alex Palmer-Sawyer racing the champion, Tim Hartman Jr. Sawyer now going to give up that runner-up position as Hartman will go to 2nd. Sawyer back to 3rd. Baronowski rides in 4th spot. Rounding out your top 5 is going to be the Jakubiak number 49 car. 1 spot behind Jakubiak, that's where we find the 11 Vermont of Joey Scarborough. Scarborough amidst the points race for the CDRA as well. Zach Buff, who's in the middle of the points race here, he has crept up to the runner-up position, comes into tonight's event, only 8 points behind Tim Hartman Jr. So Buff trying to get the best possible position he can get out of this one. He started deep in the field as they make their way down here 16 of 32 in the books. Halfway sign up, this time by. Entire field seeing the halfway sign here in tonight's Sportsman feature. The Crane brothers together here off of turn number 4. Right now it's big brother Chris Jr. with the advantage over little brother Connor. Connor down to the inside. They race here at the tail end of the top 10 with 18 on the board. Continue under green. Your leader coming up on traffic, the 𝗶𝗏𝗀 number 20, just ahead of your leader. Now, the Versatile Glass number 667 car of 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗵𝗶 going to clear the 𝗶𝗏𝗀 number 20. And after he clears the 20, now he's going to start to worry about the engine noise. He'll hear coming from behind. That noise is going to be the defending champion, Tim Hartman Jr., looking to pick up another win here in 2025. Hartman had been shut out just a couple of weeks ago. Nailed down his first victory of the season. He's got multiple feature wins down at his Saturday night home at Lebanon Valley. As they make their way down the back straightaway, they work their way up into turn number 3. 21 of 32 on the board. They'll click off 22 as they make their way by here. Yellow lights are going to come on. Yellow lights are out. Craig Hooley in the 98 up over the bank off of turn number 2, making his way back to the pit area now. Hooley going to go back behind the wall into number 98. So 10, no, they did not score lap 22, so we are not 10 laps away from checkers. We are 11 laps away from checkers. And while 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗵𝗶 in the Versatile Glass County logging number 667 is, well, he's kind of had it his way up on the front. Now he's going to look out the right side window and he's going to see the 22 pull alongside of him as Tim Hartman Jr. will now restart from the outside front row. Cody Oakes making his way back up out of the raceway with the 03 machine. So 21 on the board. The 02 or Cody Oakes rejoining the field here at the tail after a trip into the pit area. Now 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗵𝗶 is going to be given the task to try and hold off Tim Hartman Jr. Again, $1,320 sits atop the payoff here for the Sportsman tonight. Going to be ready to go back to green when they come off of turn number 4. Is 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗵𝗶 going to ease into the gas. Down here through 3 and 4. Getting to jump here off of turn number 4. He'll lead the field down into turn number 1. Hartman off the high side. Trying to pull up even with him off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. It's Hartman up high. 𝗶𝗯𝗵𝗶 down low. 𝗶𝗯𝗵𝗶 right now able to keep Hartman at bay, but at the line, momentum will carry Tim Hartman Jr. to the number 1 position. Tim Hartman Jr., your new number 1 man. Back to second goes 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗏𝗶. 𝗏𝗏 trying to keep pace with Hartman here off of turn number 4. They make their way down here into turn number 1. Up through the corner they go. One car way wide. That is the 711 car of the elder of the 2 racing brothers. Chris Crane Jr. up there on the high side of the raceway. Crane got a little wide that time as they make their way down here through the corner. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 a little out of shape on the back straightaway. Got muscled around. As they make their way down the backstretch, Tim Hartman Jr. trying to check out on the field now. As we wind down the final laps, Dan Grignon with the 42D off the pace down the back straightaway. Grignon down into the infield. He'll stay out of harm's way. Richie Peterson going to give Tim Hartman a wave when he comes down here off of turn number 4. That'll designate 5 laps to go. It'll be 5 laps remaining when they make their way down here across the line. 27 in, 5 laps remain here in the Flying Trowel 32. They work their way up here through turn 3 and 4, down off the corner. Your leader continues to be Tim Hartman. Now the 11 Vermont of Joey Scarborough. Trying to fend off the challenge there from Chris Crane Jr. Crane up on the outside, getting around Scarborough. And Crane using that high line, but he might have found that a little bit too late. That is for 7th spot. Crane goes to 7th. Scarborough back to 8th. 9th spot is going to be the 89 of Dylan Madsen. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Connor Crane with the 711. White flag going to fly this time by. White flag is in the air for Tim Hartman Jr. Hartman going to bring him down the back straightaway with the kick fly. Bemis Trucking, 22 car. The Mike Perillo-owned automobile will come to Checkers. Checkers are out. The win will go to TH2, Tim Hartman Jr. Hartman gets the victory. 𝗔𝗹𝗯𝗏𝗶 going to come home second. Alex Palmer-Sawyer, great run for him. He finishes 3rd. Chris Jakubiak will finish in the 4th spot. And rounding out your top 5 is going to be the 112 of Dave Baronowski Jr. Second 5, we see Zach Buff with the 01 will finish in 6th. Then it'll be Chris Crane Jr., 711C finishes 7th. 8th spot, Joey Scarborough in the 11 Vermont. 9th, the 89 of Dylan Madsen. And rounding out your top 10, going to be Connor Crane with the 711X car. So that is the way your top 10 finished. Tim Hartman Jr. is parked, the Service Master, Kickfly, Bemis Trucking, 22 car. Down there in Victory Lane, Mia will make her way down to talk to Tim Hartman Jr. Down there in Victory Lane. Hartman picking up a win here 2 weeks ago. That was his 2nd of the season. So this now his 3rd of 2025. Getting unbuckled down there in the cockpit. Career win number 48 here for Hartman. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, winner of tonight's Flying Trowel 32, Tim Hartman Jr. Tim will hit the ground, make his way back around this side of the car where Mia awaits. We'll send it down trackside to Mia.
I am down here with Sportsman feature event winner Tim Hartman. Tim picking up the win tonight on Stand the Man Night. The last time you hit victory lane was 2 years ago for Stand the Man Night.
Yeah, I remember winning it in the past. It's good to win some extra money, and thanks to the track for putting on an event like this. And the track was great, and the car was great. Take advantage of a up front starting spot. Drew ran a great race. He was hard to catch there, and luckily we had that restart where I could kind of throw the kitchen sink at him and get in front of him, and then from there it just was trying not to hit anything.
Now, Tim, who do you have to thank tonight for getting you in victory lane?
Well, I'm happy to see Mike Perillo in the pits. Best car owner in the sport. Love driving for him. The race cars that he provides to me. Everybody, family, friends, everybody that's on this race car. Super proud of this entire team for what we've done this year. This is our 8th win between the two tracks, and I haven't thanked DCAM Race Cars yet this year, but thanks to DCAM, I know all those guys are here tonight. An unbelievable race car, slippery track, tacky track, whatever. This thing's just on rails.
Hard-earned, working your way to the top tonight. Congratulations to you. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, thanks to the people that still cheer for me. Looking forward to getting a couple more before the end of the season.
Congratulations to you, Timmy. Let's give him a round of applause. Our Sportsman feature event winner, Tim Hartman Jr.
So thank you to Mia, and congratulations to TH2, Tim Hartman Jr., picking up career win number 48 here at the Great Race Place.